Now, there is another big technology story that we want to discuss today. This is the European Union handing Google a $2.7 billion antitrust fine on Tuesday. That fine was announced by the EU's antitrust chief in Brussels. The watchdog claims the company gave the preferential treatment for its own online shopping services over competitors in search queries. How can such a large fine come from something as simple as ads from a search page? And what are your thoughts on this other major story of the day?
Well, it's a $2.7 billion fine, which is large for, say, you or me or almost every company in the world. But Google, with a market cap of, I don't know what it is, $600 billion right now, it's a relatively, it's a hit that they can take. How does it come on top of something like on a search page? Because of all the money Google makes. Like, Google has turned itself into one of the 3 biggest companies in the world through a very simple mechanism, serving ads against search. And if it's giving preferential treatment to its services, you can see how the antitrust authorities came to that number. Now, whether it was the correct ruling, that's a complicated situation. Whether Google is actually in violation of antitrust laws, again, complicated. But if you accept the premise that they violated antitrust, that does seem like a reasonable fine.
The EU, though, seems much more aggressive than the US in implementing these fines for technology companies. I think it was Facebook was fined $122 million in May over the company's deal for WhatsApp. What does that tell you? What message is the EU and European nations sending to these American tech giants? Well,
you could say either there is a regulatory authority that takes this stuff seriously, or B, a cynic might say, come on, they're just jealous. Right? You also could say, well, actually, American antitrust authorities would do this if they hadn't been captured by lobbyists for the tech companies. It's clear that Europe is going after the American tech companies, which are the big dominant tech companies, way more aggressively than the U.S. is. Is that because Europe wants to sort of help their own upstarts because they kind of don't like the American companies? Or is it because on the American side, there's been regulatory capture? Again, a complicated question. It also could be that Europeans care more about privacy and about antitrust than Americans, but I really think it's political.
But as you mentioned, these are massively valuable businesses worth billions of dollars. Do these fines and these messages really make a difference to their practices?
The fine doesn't matter. I mean, $2.7 billion, Google could lose that at lunch and it would be not a problem, right? But what they do care about is Europe is saying, oh, well, now you have to present your search results differently. That's annoying, right? Do you have to run everything now through the antitrust authorities? These are companies that very much have an ethos of move fast, build things, get stuff up there. If suddenly they have to go, hey, Europe, is it okay if we build this? Is it okay if we do that? That's annoying and it slows progress. And then also, this could open the way to many more lawsuits. And then Google gets encompassed by lawsuits. Remember, what happened to Microsoft is they just lost 10 years of innovation because everybody was just fighting in court the whole time. And so Microsoft got surpassed. So one of the big threats to Google is that it becomes suddenly, oh, all we have to be good at is litigating. That's the most important thing for our business. And they start to litigate and they stop innovating. And then 5 years you look up and wait a second, they're not that big anymore.
Well, we'll see where this all leads from here. Nick Thompson, editor-in-chief of Wired magazine. Thanks for coming in.
Delighted to be here.